A very good morning to one and all present here. Today, I, Akshay Srivastava, along with my co-host Dhyuti Sai, will be hosting day 1 of the 2-day workshop on Next Generation Sequencing, a perspective in agriculture gain. It is our pleasure to welcome all dignitaries and participants to the workshop. Thank you for being with us. We are truly delighted to have you here. The welcome address will be delivered by Professor P.T.V. Lakshmi, Head of the Department of Bioinformatics. Ma'am, I request you to please come.
Good morning. I start with a quote of the day. A dream written down with a date becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps become a plan. A plan backed by action makes your dream come true. So good morning to one and all present here. Most respected Stephanian and the leader of Pondicherry University, our Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Gurmeet Singh, our beloved Dean, School of Life Sciences, Professor Pratap Kumar Shetty, distinguished guest, Dr. Ajay Kumar, Staff Scientist and Head, Laboratory of Genome Informatics, Department of Bioinformatics, Center for DNA Fingerprinting and Diagnostic, Hyderabad, Dr. Uma Maheshwaran, who would be joining us online, Senior Scientist from Institute of Genomic Medicine, Nationwide Children's Hospital, Columbus, US. We have Dr. Karthik Narayanan, who will be joining us tomorrow. He is a staff scientist from Mall Bioscience. I am indebted to all our friends, my colleagues, and students participants from various parts of the country. I take immense pleasure in welcoming all my friends and my colleagues, and of course our own press and media, and my own untiring research scholars, students within the department. So foremost, I take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt welcome to you all for this national workshop on NGS, which is proposed to be conducted for 2 days with effect from today and tomorrow, with the perspective theme of agriculture. And this program is eventually partially funded by Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, and we have also taken a grant from the university. And on this glorious moment, I would like to extend my warm wishes on behalf of the Department of Bioinformatics to our esteemed Vice Chancellor for having accepted the invitation. Early in the beginning of the year, when I approached him for the date, I made it a point to ensure that Sir should be showing his physical presence. So with that, he has given his convenient date, that is today. And he said that I would definitely make it up. So that's how he has made it. We are very thankful to you, sir, for having accepted our invitation in spite of your busy amidst great schedule. You made it very, very auspicious for us by showing your physical presence this day. And as our Vice Chancellor is behind us as a backbone, giving all his solitude and extending the maximum possible to every stakeholder of the university, he has never forgotten to render his contribution in terms of all the requests that we have been making for the department as well. So in this regard, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to Professor Vice Chancellor for having made this day very auspicious for us, and he has also taken the consideration of our request by expanding the department. So this department expansion has been a foresee for the long years, and we have been very keen on this, and I've been always telling him that it is the PG as well as the PhD that has massively increased, and therefore we obviously needed to have the expansion done in the second floor. And I'm very certain that the planning division has taken up our proposal, and they have considered the grant of 17 crore, which I heard it from the planning division, that soon we will be expanding our department in the second floor. So with that, I am very immensely grateful to the Vice Chancellor for this. And secondly, this campus, this building, as you all have been witnessing, was one of the beautiful hall wherein any event that is conducted by the university, by any of the departments, would be the platform here. But due to certain reasons, this hall has been under maintenance for many years, and today it is with the effort that our Vice Chancellor is going to come. The effort of civil with electrical wing, yesterday all through the day they were here trying to mend the facilities for us, and that's how we have made it up today to use this premises in a very vital way. So for that I am very grateful to sir as well. Thank the civil and engineering session for making it very purposeful today. And the other thing that I would like to emphasize is about the major facilities that we have been for a long anticipating for our PG teaching program. And this computers or computational facility is one such backbone for bioinformatic research, and it has been a very apprehensive word to use. And as I have been requesting sir with proper justification, sir has agreed to provide us the necessary facility, and it is also in the pipeline. Hope that our students will be immensely benefited provided the university supports us with this computational facility that we have been requesting for. And another important thing is about this establishment of the high performance computing facility. Again, we had been applying through different funding resources, and I also shared a copy of whatever that we had been applying to the Vice Chancellor. And whether it is fortunate or unfortunate, we could not make it up. But then sir has always given me a very convincing promise that it will definitely be done. So with that, I am very glad to share this, that our proposal that we submitted for high performance has been approved by the SIF facility, and there had been a request asking us to submit the proposal. So with that, hopefully along with the other machineries that is coming into SIF, I think this high performance would also be another added feature that would be inducted through SIF, through DST HIFA facility. So these are all some of the developments that the department is seriously looking forward with the directions of our Vice Chancellor to make it very meanable for us. And as a little step forward towards our academic streams, we had been trying to use this UGC skill development programs. So that way the department has taken keen interest towards the improvising the competitive exam spirit within the students, and that way the department in the evening hours, after the working hours, with the help of the research scholars, are trying to conduct the extra coaching services for these students to clear their competitive exams. So that is one of the highlight which is being approved by the university for us to proceed forward. And nevertheless, with all this, we are also in the process of getting ourselves geared for implementing the NEP. So this BS-MS integrated 5-year program is proposed to be foreseen from this academic year onwards. So we are in the process of framing our syllabus, and all that is also happening side by side. So with all these developments that are going on, we are also very fortunate to inform you, sir, that one of the PG program, MTech program that we have been conducting in the department has been approved by AICT, and AICT is asked us to increase the number of seats. So that proposal is also submitted to the university. Provided if the university grants us, we can go on for 10% extra of the available over and above seats that we have already been permitted with. So with that, we will be able to apply for certain other infrastructure facilities that are required within the department through AICT. So this is all some of the developments which we are marching in the right direction. And one last request to the Vice Chancellor is that as sir was witnessing the IBSE clearance meeting last couple of weeks back, so we had about 17 proposals being submitted, of which the maximum 50% of the proposal were from the department only. So 8 of ourselves faculty presented their proposals for biosafety clearance. So, realizing the need of these facilities within the department, that is at the level of biosafety level 2 and 3, we have requested the university to consider this also along with the expansion proposal. Hope that is also being taken care of, and we will be able to have these facilities done. So with this request, I would like to immensely thank Professor Gurmeet Singh, sir, for taking his time off. And this is a very, very auspicious day because we have about 72 students from out of the campus from all over the country. So they have just come in to attend to this particular program. And to give you some insight about this program, this is fourth of this kind that is being proposed, that is being organized within the department over the last 2 years. And it is so because this NGS concept that we are dealing with has become a very buzzy word, and it is taking up its application on all the sectors, and that's how we were able to combat corona by developing vaccines. So with that, there is no needless to say about the essential features about NGS, and so realizing it's important, and it has been a demand for the academic professionals to develop this skill on this NGS platform. We are very meticulously conducting this program year after year, and therefore it has been a very successful program over the past, and hope that this year's event will also be very successful, as we have invited very prestigious member who are dealing with the complete aspect of NGS. So we have some personnel from US also who will be joining us online, and some company people will also be addressing to the difficulties that can be overcome with the analysis platform of NGS. So with that, I take immense pleasure in welcoming you all once again to this today's program. Wish this program a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm welcome. I now request Dr. Suresh Kumar, sir, Professor of the Department of Bioinformatics, to enlighten us with the scope of the two-day workshop on Next Generation Sequencing.
Actually, the scope of this thing is mainly concentrating on agriculture sector. Previously, we concentrated on health sector. This time, since our country took over that G20 lead, so we want to put more emphasis on the agriculture sector. So the person who is from CDFD Hyderabad, Ajay Kumar, main work is behind the genome of coconut and the mango genome, and his boss is the one who had almost all the traditional varieties of rice genome, and everything is with them. So he is the right person to address those things. Another bigger issue here is almost all the North Indian part, which are all fed by the Himalayan glaciers, those water are having the contaminated with arsenic. So arsenic poison is picking up. So we need to find out how we are going to eliminate, because most of the people in our country mainly consuming rice. So if it is contaminated with arsenic, how we are going to eliminate it, whether NGS is going to help us or not. So that is the main thing. For that, Rupesh Deshmukh, who is Associate Professor in Central University of Haryana, is going to connect us through online mode today itself, and we will have the discussion about that thing also. So starting from the bioinformatics part, how to analyze the NGS data, how about the quality of the data. So all these things will be analyzed here itself. They are going from the scratch. So another thing is, some of the participants, they are asked me, they are having some medical background, they want to do more about the medical oriented things. So for that, I invited one of our alumni. Now he is in Columbus, Ohio. So he is going to connect us on online mode tomorrow morning. So I hope everyone will get enriched with almost the analysis part. Some of our students from biochemistry and molecular biology also registered. So this is the first time they want to explore this thing. So I need to welcome the student from biochemistry and molecular biology also. So you need to explore all these things. So that is the ultimate aim of conducting this seminar. So try to get the benefit out of that. Thank you.
Good morning, Vanakkam and Namaskar. Welcome to all of you for this nice, beautiful workshop on a nice day. Professor Gurmeet Singh, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Pondicherry University, under his able leadership, our university is seeing various developments which I think many of the outside students or participants, when they have come into the campus, would have seen enormous developments which are happening here. And we are really thankful to you, sir, for all the development to the university and also your encouragement to the academic activities, including conferences and seminars like this which are happening. I would like to express my pleasure on various programs conducted by the Department of Life Sciences, Department of Bioinformatics of Life Science. In fact, in the last couple of months, this is, I think, the third program we are witnessing from this department. Therefore, as I always say, Department of Bioinformatics is the most active department of the School of Life Science in terms of its academics, in terms of its research and development activities, and also in terms of active outreach activities such as conferences, seminars, and workshops. Because please remember that if you see the focus of the today's government, most important focus is on skill development. And even if you take the national education policy which is coming up, highest importance is giving up to the skill development and also skilled population who comes out from the colleges and universities. And this particular workshop is focusing on developing specific skill, which is a skill of today and skill of tomorrow. Because when it comes to next generation sequencing, application of that is enormous. Either you take from the point of view of agriculture, which is the focus of this workshop, medical sciences, and most importantly, the environmental sciences. Therefore, I think I definitely feel that this is the most important and timely workshop which is being conducted by the department. And I would also urge the department to have this as a more frequent one, because I was I was hearing from them that there was enormous demand and we were able to accommodate only a few of the participants. I think if you do it on a regular basis, more people will be able to get benefit from this. And also, you can also do it as a certificate course, because what happens in future as time proceeds, people with these specific understanding will have enormous scope in their life. For example, I remember for 10 years back, if you go, the highest demand for those people who have LCMS, MS or GCMS, MS, capacity. But today, I think if somebody who is from life sciences, they don't have capability in terms of genomics, probably lag behind in terms of their skill as well as in terms of their marketability. Therefore, you should play a major role in imparting this skill to all the students and scholars of life science, so that they can fill this part of the lack of skill being covered by the time they go out of this university. I hope you would do that on a regular basis and make our students more enriched in terms of this. I would not like to take more time on my talk, but I would definitely wish that this workshop is a big success and all the participants will go home with a little more knowledge than what they already have. Any workshop, any seminar will not be a complete package to you. It is only a time where you get just stimulated to learn more, because it's only a beginning. Now the world is at your fingertips. Once you know a basic knowledge of something and you would like to pursue it, it's not like before. You don't have to go in search of that to best university abroad, best university in the country, but you can do it online as long as you start learning that. Therefore, I hope this workshop acts as a stimulator to have an interest in the NGS, and I wish all of you good luck, and I wish this workshop good luck as well as big success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your warm and kind words. Moving forward, I request our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Gurmeet sir, to please release the sovereign.
most of you may not know that when I joined this university, the first seminar that I attended was in this very hall, and that was a very impressive event. I remember Professor Mathur was sitting with me and he gave me all details while sitting here. I didn't know anything about the department and the way it developed. While the introductory part was on, he was sitting with me and he gave me a good background, which was very heartening. The other good thing was the way the auditorium was kept, very impressive. And the way it was organized, it was absolute with the computer accuracy that we went on with our program there. So it's a reminder of my first visit. In between, I have attended number of webinars here, not of your department, but other departments also took permission to have it here. So it's a good functional department, there is no doubt about it, one of the best in our university. And anybody who comes here, any visitor who comes, we make sure that he visits this department because of the way this is being maintained. I am delighted that we are having now a workshop here after a fairly long gap. That you all know it is because of the deadly pandemic that we all had, we all faced. We faced the worst of it and the kind of depressive time that we had. I always pray to Almighty that, well, at least never in our life, never in our lifetime, we should face this thing again. We have seen worse situations, worse calamities, earthquakes, deadly disasters, floods, many other kinds of calamities, but this was the worst. Nobody would have ever thought that even aircrafts and trains also would become absolutely standstill wherever they are. Ships became standstill, nobody moved, and the whole world was in a kind of a fix. Whether we'll be ever able to get back to our normal life or not, it was a big question mark. But then hats off to scientists all over the world, particularly our fellows. We contributed very richly to the control of this. People thought we'll never be able to get a vaccination in our own labs here. We showed the world that we are capable, and the way that lady Gagandeep Kang worked and moved with the groups, the way it came, I think it's a lesson for everybody to be appreciated. Then people thought we'll never be able to have our own PPEs, our own testing kits. Within a span of 1 month, 22nd March 2020 was the one when the curfew was announced, lockdown was announced. Within a month, I'm saying less than a month, we had our own PPEs started getting produced. We had our own testing kits. Many of you may not be knowing that there was, this is something I like to narrate everywhere, wherever I go. We never had any testing kits and we went to a number of countries. We requested America, we requested Germany, we requested Australia, some of the primary ones I'm telling you. They all said we are going to have, we'll be dealing with our own countrymen. We will not be able to give any in the next 3 to 4 months. And could we have waited for this for such a long time? No question. Had we waited for that long, probably our disease, the corona, the pandemic would have multiplied in our country many folds because of the reason that a large number, very concentrated population and this and that. So finally we requested on 27th March to Korean government, and they, because of our old good relations with South Korea, they agreed to provide 1 shipload of testing kits. That is the bare minimum we could have managed. And the ship started and it was to reach Bombay port on 29th March. This is a story which most of you may not be knowing. And as the luck will have it, the ship strayed into a wrong path and it landed instead of Bombay in South African port. So we were in a fix what to do. And had it started again, it would have taken another 4 days. Therefore, we looked back to what our people had done, and there was a gentleman, I am forgetting his name, he had designed a kit for dengue testing. That dengue testing that he designed, the name will come to me, that testing kit was one which will not only tell you whether you are you suffering from dengue or not, it will tell you the progression in the next 3 days. That was the plus point of that. And in terms of cost, it was 1/10 of what we were paying for the imported kits. That kit was working wonderfully well. It helped us in controlling dengue to a great extent. And he suggested that, his name was Dr. Naveen Khanna, let me tell you. And he said with little modification, we can use it for our corona testing. People didn't agree at that time when he suggested, but then when these kits did not reach us, we tried that and it worked out very well. Then there is a Center of Genomic Testing in Mall Road. They helped in. Everything was modified subsequently in a wonderful manner. So that testing kit worked very well, and after about 4 months of the rigorous testing that we were doing, 78% of the share in the hospitals and elsewhere was of this kit. This speaks about our own minds, that when we get angry, I am saying we, Indians, our friends, when we get angry, we do a remarkable work. But the question is, we should get angry, and we don't get angry very often. This is what angered our scientists, and we did a wonderful work. Then hats off to the other side, our IT experts. We thought we'll never be able to get back to normal life. The way our IT experts designed the programs, and the first webinar that I attended after this was on 31st March, online. I said, will we be able to do it? Sir, please attend and see. And what a remarkable webinar that was. After that, we started our meeting, university meetings, department meetings, all online, sitting at home. And we were getting a feeling as if nothing has happened. So hats off to our IT experts. And these IT experts, of course, are traditionally doing very well. You go across anywhere in the world, you will find our friends sitting into some lab or the other. I had the pleasure of visiting Silicon Valley in somewhere around 2010 first, and then 2017 early. And when I was going in for a lunch with some of my friends in that crowded market of Silicon Valley, we were having lunch, and when we were looking here and there, I found Americans are visiting this place. What I'm trying to tell you is that there were about, if you take the number, say out of 20, we had about 8, 9 Indians, 4 or 5 yellow race people, Chinese, Koreans, Taiwanese, and 3 or 4 Americans. So I was getting a feeling that they are a visiting site to this. That's a hallmark. And 2/3 of the CEOs of the IT companies there in Silicon Valley, I'm saying, 2/3, they were from our place. This is the force which is to be reckoned with, and you might be thinking it is in crores that our fellows are found all over. It is not. We are barely 50,000 all over the world, including our friends in Australia and New Zealand. So that number is the one which is doing a remarkable work all over, and that is a heartening feature. Now coming down to this genome sequencing, this is also largely due to the effect of our programming, our confirming the experimental results through our theoretical calculations, that we are able to put across in a very forceful way. I have been into electrochemical area, particularly corrosion and energy storage material. Whatever work we have been doing, invariably in my own area, IIT Bombay or elsewhere, there is a full department of that. And they will perform the experiment and then go in for theoretical work, and they'll say, well, they don't match, and whatever revision is to be done, they do it. In my lab, we will first carry out the theoretical studies, and we will work out whether it is going to be a possibility or not. If it is not, we don't try. Why should we waste time and energy in this? So this is what is important about programming a particular concept, subject, material, whatever you want to do it. That is a strengthening one. Whatever you do, you can reconfirm. If there's an error, you can change the conditions and see what best is going to be the optimal way by which we can arrive at the results. So here in bioinformatics, whenever I discussed, you have all the programs and you repeatedly try, and not only do it yourself for you, you also help the other institutes. So I was told that you had collaborative work, you had improved your system, you had improved your programs, many more which you needed over the years to develop, and it is that development which gave a rich, good standing to this department in our country. That is why that word, one of the best departments in our country. Yes, it is. Anywhere you go, they do talk about this department with a lot of respect. Now, this particular seminar that you are having, the Next Generation Sequencing, a perspective in agricultural sciences, it is very important. Let me tell you, anything that you are going to try about agricultural sciences, rather than actually putting it, it's going to be a long drawn affair. You try something new and then wait for the result, and you can't do it straight away in 10 days or 5 days. It takes months for a particular crop to come out. Rather than waiting that way, why can't we do it in some lab through these theoretical means by which we can arrive at the results? We can study the root, what is going to be effective, what are the conditions when we change is going to be the effect. So we have programs, but what is required is this, that we need to use our brain to put those things into certain kind of a right perspective, so that we are able to tell the experimentalists, to the agriculturist scientists, that, well, this is what probably you ought to be doing. I'll give you one example. I was addressing a seminar on water harvesting and water conservation just 2 days back, and I told them we are a little slow in what we should have done. When I visited some of the important areas, one area was Central California's Modesto city. It's a fruit basket. The amount of fruit, dry fruits which are there, almonds, pistachio, amazing. You can't imagine the quantities and the way they cut, the way they harvest, oranges for that matter. You can't imagine. And all that they were using grapes, and that was resulting into so much of it that they were not able to use it. Then they said, why are we going in for European wines? Why don't we set up our own? And they set up a winery called Gallows Winery. You might not have heard, you would have heard about French wines, Australian wines and Argentinian wines. You have never heard about Gallows wines. Let me tell you, these people pick up the wines from them, bring it to wherever they are, and they match the taste, and then they put their own brand, made in France, made in this, made in that. What is the capacity of that Gallows winery? Unthinkable, I can tell you. They have 11 tanks on top, 11 underground, and each tank has a capacity of 1 million liters. So much of fruits they get, they are not able to manage, they are not able to sell, they are not able to pick up. And once an orange falls on the ground, they will not pick it up. Anybody can come and pick it up, waiters, laborers, whosoever. But despite all that, tons and tons of this is waste. This is what I have seen with my own hand. Hand-plucked one is the one which goes into box and they sell it out in the market. That is the one which goes to winery. And the one which is produced is out of that. How have they arrived at that? There are some community colleges in Modesto and Modera. Modera is another district side by that side. And there also they did this kind of genome sequencing. They arrived at the right conditions. There, I think some of you will know, they do drip irrigation. 3 drops in 10 seconds. 5 drops in 10 seconds. Adequate amount which has not been worked out through months. They work out through these programs which you are talking about, agricultural sequencing. They do this, they worked it out, and it has been so much optimized that amazing amount of things are coming out of that. This is what is needed in our country. We are not short of anything. We are not short of talent. We are not short of land. We are not short of, everything is there. But what we do, I think you have all seen, our gardener will come, the lawn has to be watered. Instead of putting a thin tube and a sprinkler which will put water all over, what he does is he gets a big hose, puts it there, and after that goes off. And by the time he comes after lunch to see whether it has been watered or not, what we find is totally flooded. And then he gives it. Next 2 days he doesn't bother.
Tank could have been emptied by that time.
That's it. So that is what is not required. I'm telling you these things. Now, if you put too much of water on a plant, instead of becoming healthier, it will start getting rotten. It will become pale. So that's not required. And what are we doing? We are spoiling the health of that plant, and we are also wasting our water. So these are the things which can be optimized. I'm not saying we pick up from Germany or any elsewhere or what Japanese are doing. we take their ideas, all right, but we optimize these by sequencing routes about conditions which are needed here. Here, our conditions are different from what they have. So if we do that, I think we are in for a wonderful progress. As it is, we have done very well. We have done very well without using any sophisticated, modern, latest technology. We are still in the far-flung areas, they're using conventional technologies. But if we switch on to this, if we avoid our wastage, I think we are in for a wonderful time. Reason for that is that if you tell me or if you tell any of our friends to do some work, they would be the one who will spend 10 hours, 12 hours without bothering about lunch or dinner. If you have to do something in the lab, I have seen my students will just relentlessly work. Of course, next 3 days, if they don't feel like, they will not come. But then, if we tell them they work very seriously, that is what is to be said about our Indian scientists. If it is there and if they get angry that I have to get to this, we do it. That is what is needed. And agricultural sciences, for having an agricultural gain in the right perspective, your department is going to play a very clean, very clear, vital role for arriving at the right conditions, right methodology, right methods, so that we progress. You would have seen, despite all that, we have done very well with our conventional methods. We have so much of food grains in our country that if you have taken data, it lies on the platforms and we have no ways to pick up and storage is not enough. It gets rotten there itself. Despite that, we are able to cater to everybody now. And despite that, whenever our neighbors are in problem in terms of food shortage, we never say like the way we were told about those testing kits. Now we need for ourselves. We cannot give it for next 4 months. We don't do that. Our policy of that Vasudham Kutumbakam is that if my neighbor is in need, I must help him immediately. If I will not, who else? So when there was a shortage of food in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, even Pakistan for that matter, we provided food grains to them. We have that much. We happily do it. And when vaccine was needed elsewhere in the other countries, we did that. Without bothering about that our population is so large, we augmented our production to such an extent that we were able to provide it to many countries. That is how, because of this, some kind of a herd immunity was created and we were able to fight very effectively this deadly pandemic, again created by one of our neighbors. We were able to fight and we have now been here. It's a very delightful experience that for 2 years I was used to seeing empty chairs and you will address through the webinars, but now we have started working out such things and in a very normal way. That is what is heartening, and it is heartening because of a department like yours, which is the backbone of all that good work that we have done. So I would urge all my young friends who are sitting here that you are in a very effective department which is going to play a lead role, and you are going to be that comfortable fellow in terms of science that if you wish to, you need not go to the field. You will send somebody, okay, you test this, I am giving you this idea. You, in air-conditioned atmosphere in front of your computers, put some program, change conditions, work it out, and then you will be able to come out with a right kind of a solution. You are in that kind of a department where you don't have to go to that and sweat it out under difficult circumstances. You can suggest to them, you sweat it out, I will tell you what to do. So you are in a kind of a driver's seat. You will be driving the various departments. So you have taken this in a very important area, a perspective in agricultural gain. I think wonderful one, do well. And I'm just highlighting this for the young ones that take your subject seriously. If you do well in your degrees here, I can assure you, I'm ready to give it in writing. If you do well, apply anywhere in the world, they will welcome you. And some of the countries like I'm naming Korea, Taiwan, Japan, now Vietnam included in this, you write to them, they will welcome you with open arms and with fair bit of financial excellence, lot of respect. If you go to Germany and America, they will not put you in the kind of respect that we deserve. They say, well, they have come, let them do it. But when you go to these countries, they respect you a lot for the reason that they are appreciative of our brilliance which is there, and they have benefited out of that, and therefore you are in for a good time, but you have to do well. You have to be serious. You have to utilize this time. If you don't do that, then you will repent. Time goes forever. That's what I've been highlighting all the time. So thank you very much for inviting me here, and I'm delighted to see you all here in full stream, full strength. This is the way we are going to be in, and I compliment your department for organizing this seminar in a very important area, which if looked at carefully, you will find then we are in for the best of times, and our country will be showing a way to others how to coexist, how to cooperate, how to help. That's what is needed these days if the world has to be a better place. And you are going to be the leaders in this. Thank you very much, please. God bless all of you.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging words. The vote of thanks will now be delivered by Dr. K.M. Kumar, Associate Professor of Department of Bioinformatics.
Yes, it's rightly said, no duty is more urgent than that of the returning thanks. Right. Very pleasant morning to all. I, on behalf of the Department of Bioinformatics, Pondicherry University, and the organizing committee, so I stand here to express my vote of thanks. A special thanks to the distinguished guest of today, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Gurmeet Singh Sir, for presiding over the function and for delivering the presidential address. Sir, we are all inspired by your thoughts and your great words. We greatly value your thoughts, advice and wisdom. Thank you, sir. I heartily acknowledge Professor H. Pratap Kumar Shetty, sir, Dean, School of Life Sciences, Pondicherry University, for the felicitation and for being our pillar of strength. Thank you, sir. I would like to convey my gratitude to the speakers, Dr. Uma Mageshwaran Guruswamy, Senior Research Scientist, Institute for Genomic Medicine, USA, and Dr. Ajay Kumar, CDFD, Hyderabad, and Dr. Karthik Narayanan, Molsist, top scientist in industry person, for their gracious presence. I would also like to thank each and every one who is going to participate in this workshop as a speaker, learner, and researcher. Thank you for being here and making this day wonderful. Have a wonderful staying at Pondicherry. Enjoy the workshop and the campus life of Pondicherry University. Thank you once again.